Okay, so we're going to go 2-axis milling. We're going to do a pocket. We're going to select for our pocket the 1/8 inch end mill to do these routines. Okay, the feed rate is too high. We're going to go 15 inches a minute, and then we're going to go half that on the other one. So we're going to go 8, 8, 8, and 8. We're going to go to the next. So we want to select the bottoms of the holes. That way we can use the model to drive the programming instead of putting in typed in value. There we go. So we've got selections. If they're two different depths, without doing that, we would get a resultant that they're the same depth. So we're going to go to the heights tab. We're going to leave most of this at default. We want to go from model top to the contours that are selected. If we went to selection, it would go just choose one of them. Okay, we're going to go to the next tab. We have wear compensation. Some of these boxes do not appear until you check that you want finish passes. So we want a finish pass. We want one of them. We want it at a 5,000th step. We want to lead in on our finish passes. We're going to do our finish pass at 10 inches a minute. It's going to be a little bit slower than the milling feed. Okay, we're going to go with multiple depths. We're going to do 30 thousandths per depth. One finish pass at the bottom. That finish pass is going to be 5 thousandths. We are going to use even step bones. We're not going to check the box that says only finish at final depth because we want it to do a rough cut with each one here in brass. That way we're removing all the material that could smash against the sides. We're going to go in order by depth, so it's, I think, going to do the shallowest one first. And then we're going to leave stock because we want to leave some stock for the reamer to remove. So we're going to leave 1,000th per side, and then we're going to go negative 5 thousandths deeper. Now we have a 5 thousandths tolerance, but that is for the hole at full diameter depth. So we can go a little bit deeper and fudge that a little bit. Shouldn't affect anything. Then we're going to go to the next tab. We're going to allow rapid retract. We're not going to keep the tool down because there's only 2 holes. Our lead in, it's going to have a 0 radius at 90 degrees, and then we're going to have only a 5 thousandths linear lead in. Okay, because we have very little room for this pocket to fit around in. We don't want a vertical lead in radius, and we want our lead in out to be the same. We're going to change this from helix to plunge. And we're going to set our plunge clearance height at 100 thousandths above the workpiece. Okay, we're going to accept that. And this is the result that you should get. The cutter and scale with the hole is pretty good size, so it's going to cut in a circular pattern, and you'll have a flat bottom. And it does one of the holes before the other based off depth. Okay, now let's move on to the reaming. So we're going to go drill. And we're going to select from our library mill tool library the 154 thousandths reamer. Okay, it should be roughly the same, appear the same diameter. Our cutting feed rate, 2,000 RPM is fine. Our cutting feed rate's way too high though, so we're going to go 10 inches a minute on all of these. Okay, then we're going to go to the next tab. What are we cutting? We're cutting this hole and this hole. We select the sides on those, and we want to do them in order by depth also. Okay, we're going to go to the next tab. We're going to leave all the heights the way they are at default, and we're going from hole top to hole bottom. We're not drilling through the tip. There's no tip on a reamer. and we can go right to the bottom because we cut the pre-hole 5 thousandths deeper. And then we're going to recycle. There we go. We're done with the second to last operation for this class. Now let's move on to the last one. Okay, then the last one, we need to set up our stock. We want X running axial with Z perpendicular to that hole. So we're going to go to a new job. We're going to do milling, and our comment is going to be S60-101 up 3 for the mill. Okay, and we're going to do a cylindrical stock. We're going to select our cylinder, which sets the axis of the cylinder. We're going to scroll down to our origin. We're going to use Z-axis and X-axis. We're going to pick on the flat of our pocket because we want the spindle to be orientated 90 degrees to it, and we want to reverse the X-axis so that it's pointing to the right. And this way it would be you'd be facing it as an operator the way you see it, with a fixture on the left hand side that somehow holds this on to the pins, clocks it, and then you can see what's machining without the fixture being in the way, and you don't have to reach behind the part to manipulate the fixture. Okay, so we're going to keep going, and we need to select our origin. Now all our datums radiate from the right side of the part. We're mounting it on the left side of the part. I'm going to set the origin on the right hand side so that we could feasibly edge find or probe the end and find its location. So we're going to use model box point, and it's going to be middle side 2, which puts it right on center there. So if we were to indicate where the center of that is in Z height, and then right to left, we'd indicate it, we can get an accurate dimension to where this pocket is supposed to be. Okay, our program name, we're going to go back up. We're going to highlight the name, use right click and copy. Scroll down for the program comment and paste. And then our program number is 1013, and we're going to accept that. Okay, let's change the name. S60-101 up 3 for the mill. Okay, so we're going to do a pocket with the 3/8 end mill, and then we're going to drill out with the hole. So we're going to do a 2-axis milling, 2-axis pocket. And it's going to be similar to the ones we did on the side. Okay, we're going to go to our tool library. We're going to go to the mill library. We're going to grab the 3/8 flat end mill, 3 flute. This is the one cutter that can probably go as fast as we've got it in here. But it's a small part, and we're going to be moving very small amounts. So let's go 20 inches a minute. We leave the other ones where they're at. We're going to pocket this pocket. And on our heights, our retract height is going to be from stock top. Our feed height is going to be also from top, which is stock top. And we're going to be cutting to the contour. Okay, we're going to go to the next tab. And we're going to select finish passes. Once we select that, this wear compensation box opens up. Passes. I think a pass of the diameter of the cutter is too much. Let's do half the diameter, so 3 divided by 16. This is the 3/8 cutter. We want one finished pass. That finished pass right now is set at 30 thousandths. 10% of the rough cut, I guess. And we want lead ins if we can get them. Our finished pass should be at the same or less speed than our rough pass. We don't need to repeat the rough pass on this. We will go with multiple depths. 40 is fine. Let's go ahead and do one finish pass on the floor. We want that nice and flat. We'll make that finish pass 5 thousandths. We will finish at final depth. We're going to use even step overs. And stock to leave, we're going to deselect. We don't want stock to leave. We do want to turn on smoothing. And the default setting's fine. We're going to set the depths at 0.06. We'll move to the next tab. Okay, we allowed rapid retract, but it's going to be 0.01 clearance instead of the default. Lead in entry, we want 10 thousandths. There's not a lot of room for this cutter to move around. It's at 90 degrees with a 10 thousandths linear lead in, and we do not want a vertical radius. We're going to set the lead in and out as the same. We got our plunge clearance and 100,000. It's just going to plunge straight in. And we're going to have 100 thousandths plunge clearance in height with 0 set at a side distance. This is a fairly stout cutter. I don't think it's going to have any issues there. Okay, now we can accept that. Alright, so we get 1, 2, 3 rough passes and a finish pass at the bottom, taking it to finish sides. Alright, that's the moment you've been waiting for. The very last operation. So we are going to drill, and we are going to drill with a tool from the mill library. And the diameter of that hole on our drawing, 79 thousandths. What do we have that's close to 79 thousandths? There we go. Tool number 15, it's a number 47 stub drill. We're going to select that. We'll leave all that at default. Go to the next tab. We're selecting this hole. Okay, it's a single hole. We're going to the next tab. Leave all this at default. Okay, we're going from hole top to hole bottom. We want the drill to punch through, and we want an extra 10 thousandths. Okay, the next tab, we're going to go deep drilling. We're going to go half the diameter, 0.079 divided by 2. And we're going to accept that. Okay, we drilled through the final hole. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last of the tutorials for this class. Again, you're going to have 3 programs and 3 setup sheets submitted for this assignment. It's a big one. It's 500 points. Make sure it's complete. And thank you for taking the class, and we'll see you in a future class.